Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and do these examples on a separate sheet, just to, on a separate video, just to give us some extra, like, chunking. So when it says to solve the triangle, that means that you have to find every leg length and every angle. All right, that just means you have to find every measure of the triangle possible. All right, so here they gave us A, B, and capital A. So we have to find capital B, lowercase c, and capital C. So we have 2 angle measures to find and 1 leg length to find. So the first thing we're actually gonna end up using both law of sines and law of cosines down here. We're gonna use law of sines here, and we'll probably end up using law of cosines on the second one. So when using law of sines, they gave us leg A, leg B. We have to find angle B. So we'll start by setting that up. We're going to use A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. All right, my A is 35 over sine of 92, which is equal to 24 over sine of B. Now it's set up just like a proportion. We're going to cross multiply here. So I'll end up with 35 times sine of B is equal to 24 times sine of 92. All right. Once we do that, you can divide by 35 here. You can divide this side by 35. So really we have sine of B is equal to 24 times the sine of 92 all over 35. All right, and then you can multiply it out and get decimals and go from there, or you can plug it into the calculator all at once. So when we have it like this, we have to do the inverse of sine. So our B is actually equal to sine to the negative 1 of 24 times sine 92 over 35. All right, once you plug that all into the calculator for B, we will get 43 point, I'm going to round, 0.3 degrees. All right, now we have one angle measure, we have another angle measure. It's a triangle. So how much is our angle measures going to add up to be anyways? Our triangle is going to be equal to 180 degrees. So if we subtract both of the angle measures that we have, 92 and 43.3, that will give us angle C, which is equal to 44.7 degrees. All right, now here, again, we have all the angle measures, and we have 2 legs, so we're actually going to use law of sines again to find angle C. We can use B over sine B or A over sine A. We have all the features of both, so it really won't matter. I'm going to use A over sine A again. So we have 35 over sine of 92, and that's going to be equal to C, which we don't have, over sine of the angle measure C, which is 44.7. All right, once we do our cross multiplying, here, 35 times sine of 44.7 is equal to sine of 92 times C. We will end up just doing dividing by sine of 92. Since we have our sine this time, we don't have to do sine to the negative 1. C will be equal to 24.5, and that will be the leg length there. So that is using law of sines. Now we are going to go to example 2. It says just find A, but we're going to solve the triangle because we need the practice, and why not? All right, and we're going to be using law of cosines here. Now, since they want us to find A, we'll go ahead and just use the one that is A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. All right, so a squared is equal to, let's see, this is our b. We can go ahead and write that. B is 12. A is 39.4. If it helps you to make a list, by all means. And C, or lowercase c, is going to be 14. Okay, 12 squared plus 14 squared. Sorry, I had a glare in my phone. It was like in my eyes. All right, and then we have minus 2 times 12 times 14 times cosine, I'm running out of room, 39.4. All right, you can plug a lot of this into the calculator. I'm just going to call it calculator magic. We're just going to, I'm going to go ahead and do this in my head because I'm such a genius. All right, you obviously have 144, 196, add those together, subtract 2 times 12 times 14 times cosine 39.4. Idealistically, you could put that in the calculator and solve. A squared, don't forget that it's still a squared whenever you solve, is 80.4. Now, when you square root that, we're going to go with 8.96. All right, and that is A. Once we have this, we can use law of sines. So typically you'll only have to use this maybe one time, and then you can use law of sines the rest of the time. You can set up a proportion because we have A and measure A. Then we have C, we can find measure C. You'll just do law of sines. So let's say we got that 8.96 over measure A, which is sine of 39.4. And that is equal to, let's do B, 12 over sine B. Once you cross multiply, you'll end up doing sine to the negative 1 of 12 times sine 39.4 divided by 8.96. B is going to end up being 58.2 degrees. Now, once we do that, you can use the fact that a triangle is 180 degrees. We're going to minus that 58.2. We're also going to subtract the 39.4 to give us our C, which is equal to 82.4 degrees. And just like that, we've used everything to solve.